The old ways of cause and effect, they may work in some places, and they still may have a place somewhere here on this earth. But by no means does it have a place within what you are living, your manifestations, what you want to work towards, what you want to have in your life. Because if you truly believe that where you are right now is someone else's fault, is because of how you were brought up, because you cannot change anything, because you will not change anything, because you cannot see the end of the tunnel, the light, because you don't have support in your life from people, because your family or your husband or your wife or your children or someone doesn't love you, then you're going to stay right where you are. Because what happens is we really need to change the way we see ourselves. What I teach and what I have done myself, and I don't teach anything that I haven't done for myself or that I have experienced or that I have actually changed in my life. And I will tell you, some of it has been hard for me because I was hardwired to see myself a certain way. I was hardwired to think a certain way about life, about money, about relationships, about, well, pretty much everything. So when I wanted change, and we're funny because as human beings, we don't usually choose change. It usually happens to us because we will not change ourselves, or we will not change the direction of our thinking or feeling until some traumatic event or something happens in our life. Then we go on to blame that event or that person, and then we can continue to do that for the rest of our life, or we can start looking at it going, wow, this is not helping me whatsoever. This is not changing anything in my life. You can be miserable. You can hold on to grievances. You can hold on to grudges. We can hold on to pretty much anything because we've decided to. But I will tell you something. Those people that you have grudges against, that you feel vengeful, which wish something would happen to them because of what they did to you, all those things that go on and on and on in our lives, they're living their lives. They probably don't even have a clue what you're mad at them for or why you're holding a grudge. But because you're holding the grudge, it's affecting you, your mind, your emotions, your health, your present situation, and now your future. It will affect your relationships. It will affect how you feel about yourself on a physical, emotional, and spiritual self. So until we actually sit down and get right with what's inside of us, nothing changes. Some people out there like their life. They go on living it. They just carry on. They do things, and they're quite happy to ignore the past or how they're feeling, or that one relationship that still is a pain in the ass, but just stays away from it. And who cares? It's not right or wrong. But if you are not living, if you are not feeling good about yourself, if you don't have the life you want and you're complaining about it, and you're looking at other people, blaming them, then it is to sit down with yourself and get to know yourself. And it really is to just look at yourself and go, you know what? If I want that new career, that job, that move, the love in my relationship, the support, if I want those things, I have to have them for myself. I just have to have them. I have to find that, which means you have to give up the energy of guilt and shame and remorse and vengeance and blame and looking at people and thinking that they're wrong, you're right. And how can they do this to you when you're in such a place within yourself? How can they be disloyal? How can they be a stranger to you? How can they ignore you? How can they not see what you're going through? Number one, I'll address that because they're all in their heads doing the same thing. No one can see each other. We can't see each other because we're too busy in our own minds thinking about what other people have done to us and how bad off we are or what we need and want and don't have. And as long as we're in that little tiny universe that we've created within ourselves, we can't possibly change the outcome of anything we're in. So if you're in a really bad relationship or a mediocre relationship or just it's okay, it'll do for now relationship, you have created that. It's not the other person's fault, and you can't wait for that other person to change because they're not going to. Because they're used to you being the way you are, and you are used to the way that they are, and that's the way it is until one of you decides to change. So if you want the relationship of your dreams, then you need to start looking within yourself and finding, what does that really look like? What does that look like if I was in a relationship that was lovely and free, and we had a laugh and we went places and we did things, and instead of sitting here every single night doing nothing. You have to change what you see and feel right now for anything to happen tomorrow, the day after, the day after, the day after. And here's the thing about what happens. Your energy changes. The way you see life changes. You feel lighter and brighter and happier. And you start feeling that then, most of the time, unless they're really dug in deep, your partner feels that energy. And that energy now is coming to them, and they like it. They like, what is this? I like this. I like this feeling. And so now it starts to gravitate to them, and they feel it. And then you start, oh, this is something I can do. You see, you do that in relationships. Same with career, job, money, whatever. You ever see how easy it is to give to a dog or a cat? I mean, cats they're so blasé, they don't even really give a shit if you're in the room or not. But it's so easy for us to give to a cat or a dog or any animal, and they don't have to give anything back. But because we can give to them, because why? Because we know that we just love them, and we don't ask for anything back. We don't ask for anything in return. So why is it we can do that with animals, but we can't do it with the people we actually love and live with? So this is where we need to get to. First, we ask it of ourselves. Do I love myself? Do I feel guilt about what I did when I was, in my 20s? Do I have shame for what I did in my 30s and 40s? Do I feel bad about myself, about what I said to someone in 6th grade, 10th grade? We have to let go of that stuff because number one, it really doesn't matter, because that was a self that we were a part of in that time frame that didn't know any better. So we must forgive that part of ourselves. And then just, you don't have to spend days and weeks and months there. You probably already spent, 20, 40, 50 60 years as I've sat with people, still hanging on to what someone said or did to them and can't get out of it. It's really important to let it go for you to be able to live. And to free up that energy means now you have energy to bring in happiness and to bring in a whole new way of living. So this whole creation of your thoughts create your reality, they really do, because if you sit for a minute, and I know I've talked about this a million times, but if you sit and think about something traumatic or something bad that's happened to you in your past, your body then brings up all the emotion from that moment in time. And it doesn't even exist anymore. It's not even anywhere in this universe. The only place it exists is in your mind in the form of a memory. So if that is true, then we can change that and turn it into a better way of seeing it. And even better, choose to see ourselves as strong. We've overcome, and we're now here in the now, and now we're going to choose something different for the future. So now we're going to focus on happiness and being nice to people or talking to people or giving attention to others. And that makes us move in a way that's kind of hard to explain, but it helps us feel like we're a part of something. And we feel nice, we feel good about ourselves, helping someone, helping ourselves, helping in any way, shape, or form. But the whole idea is changing our thoughts. Our thoughts create our reality, so therefore it changes our energy. And our energy is that of, hey, I'm willing to try, and I'm being nice, and I'm feeling good about myself, and I'm loving myself, and I'm feeling better, and I'm feeling happier, and I'm feeling lighter, and I'm not carrying this grudge around anymore. And so you just seem lighter. And what's really happening from what I see is the aura, the energy field we have around us is not filled with hate or revenge or self-pity or victimization or being a bully or whatever it is you walk with. It's in your aura. And what's in your aura, that's how people react to you. So if people don't want to be around you and don't want to talk to you, or feel sorry for you or feel pity for you, it's what you've put in your aura. And so now that becomes a part of who you are, and that's what you give off. So it's kind of like become a character trait of yours, where you walk into a room, and if you don't feel good enough, then people aren't attracted to your energy and won't come over and talk to you. If you feel good, if you feel bright and light, people are gravitated to that energy of you. If you are careful, if you are scared, if you are frightful, if you're anything, a bully, there's the same thing. There's going to be a reaction from people outside of you because they're reacting and reading your energy, because that is what you have within yourself. I remember a long time ago, I introduced a friend of mine to someone, and I said, "Oh, this is so-and-so, come and meet them." And they came walking over and said, "Oh yeah, I'm so glad to meet you." And it got so far, it's like, bam! It was like they walked into a brick wall. It was so noticeable. And I just stood there looking at it and I went, wow. That's how far their aura was out to stop anyone from getting close to them. Now they're walking around thinking, why isn't anyone liking me? Why doesn't anyone talk to me? Like, what? Screw them then. Screw them. Well, why wouldn't they want to know me? But deep down inside, they filled themselves up years and years in their aura and their energy of how much they don't like themselves and how much they don't like other people for what they've said and done to them. So they've got this whole thing going on in their energy field, and they don't understand that people are walking into it and feeling it and either being repulsed by the energy, or if it's loving and accepting, they love the time they're spending with that person. You've done it. You've met people and went, whoa, can't wait to get away from this person. Or you meet someone and went, wow, like you're so fun and you're so, easy to get along with, and I just like being around you. You just felt comfortable. That's you reading their energy in their aura about how they feel about themselves. So that you have that too. And this whole thing, I hate to tell you guys, every time I see someone say something or post something about karma, and they say, yeah, karma sucks. Well, what was it called when it happened to you? You see, it's not a one-way street here. We all have stuff. We all have stuff that happened to us. We all have stuff that happens to other people. We have done stuff to people. They have done stuff to us. This karma thing that people keep saying that, well, we'll just wait, karma will get them. But it wasn't karma when it happened to us. So we really have to be awake. And that's the first step, is be awake. Look at yourself. Pull your energy in. Go and sit down somewhere. Sit with yourself and do an inventory of what you feel about yourself. Do an inventory of how you feel, what you give off, and the people that are in your life and how they treat you, how they talk to you, all that stuff. And then figure out, what is this? What is this dance that you have with life, with your own energy, with other people? That dance is important to understand. Then you change your thoughts. You change the emotions within you, which change the energy within you, which changes the reaction and the force that you give off to life. And then life can dance with you. So whatever dance that you have going on, it's because of the dance that you started with. So whatever you're giving off, the dance will come and dance with you. It's not something that happens to you. It doesn't come out of nowhere. It doesn't hit you like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. If you sat down and looked at your life, you'd see that you did know. You just didn't want to. I know, it's happened to me. I've been there, all that stuff, done it, got the t-shirt, wrote home about it. But it's silly to just stay there. It's silly to say, well, I can't do anything about it. This happened. Yes, you can. I can't move forward because of this happened to me in my life. Yes, you can. I can't do that or get that because of these things that happened. My education, the way I was brought up, the way I was taught to see myself. Yes, you can. And if the mind is that strong that can hold on to that belief about yourself, then your mind is that strong, and this is where I got my strength from, is if my mind can believe all that shit that was given to me over the years, then I can also turn it around. And that's exactly what I did, was I had my mind changed. I decided I wasn't going to see myself, think myself, or be in that kind of life or anything anymore, because I know my mind can change the energy, the feeling, the emotions, and then the real physical part of life. If I can do it, you can do it, because it's just your mind. When you get a grasp of your mind, when you get a hold of it and have a good talking to it. So, they say your mind's running away with you. That's pretty much true. If we do not sit down and grab a hold of it and say, look, we're going to have a discussion here. I'm in control now. You're no longer. Because it's so used to being in a groove of seeing yourself a certain way and what you can have and you can't have and what you're allowed to have. And all the beliefs, which is just a thought over and over and over, or taught to you over and over from when you were a child to now, you have to be able to change those. The beliefs aren't yours anyway. They were taught to you. So choose what you want to believe. Choose how you want to see your life. Choose how you'd like to contribute to this world. But don't just fall into the groove every day. Get out of bed, turn the alarm off, get your coffee, go to work, sit in a cubicle, or go to the whatever job you have that you hate, and then have the hateful thoughts about it, and the person in the corner that you hate, and this one that you don't like, and I hope so-and-so doesn't come in today. Change that and see how your life changes. I mean, you'll do it, and you'll go for a couple of hours, and it'll be great. But then it'll start teetering off, because you'll go, well, that doesn't work. And you know how many times I've heard people say that? That doesn't work. It didn't work. I tried it. It didn't work. See, told you. Here's another part of us. We want to be right. So we will try something for a little bit. But if you've been doing this and thinking this way for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, guess what? A couple hours a day ain't going to do it. And you're going to have to stay with it. So here's the thing. You have to want that over there more than what you have right now. Meaning, everybody wants happiness. Everybody wants to have that nice relationship. But no one wants to work for it. And the work isn't changing the person you're with. It's changing you. It's changing yourself. It's changing how you see yourself. It's bringing up the love and the compassion in your heart and bringing that into play within the relationship. It takes consistency. It takes you wanting it. It takes you sitting down with it. It's not on the phone or clicking on the TV and staying there for hours and then saying this shit doesn't work, which I've also heard. This is a journey, and I made it fun. I made it like a game, and I would play with it in my mind. I would give my mind things to do to distract it so it wouldn't go back into the old way of thinking. There's so many things that you can do. You just have to get creative. But you really, first off and foremost, you gotta want it. You gotta want to be happy. Happiness is a feeling. It's not something outside of yourself. And the only way you're gonna have that feeling of happiness is to cultivate it. And that means changing all the thoughts that you have that stop the happiness from coming up. Hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it was a little clear, because I always talk about the mind, because the mind to me is the root. I was taught by my dad from the age of 14 about the mind. I have seen PBS specials, read books. I have, oh my God, anything to do with the mind. I've been around schizophrenics. I've been around people who have all kinds of mental disorders. And I'm not going to say it's easy, because that will just make everybody angry. It's not easy a lot of the times, but it does take determination, like everything else. It takes you wanting to be well. It takes you wanting to be happy. It takes you wanting to be a part of life in a whole different level. We've been taught, sadly, all these beliefs that do nothing for us. Absolutely nothing for us. So why not try something different? Love yourself. Use the power of your thoughts and emotions, and just have it broadcast. As soon as the thought becomes an emotion, an exciting emotion, a happy emotion, it's like a broadcasting station. It goes out there and looks for something that's like it, to match it. And it's an amazing feeling. And you can love yourself. You can love yourself even though other people don't. Who cares? They're just reflecting what they feel about themselves. So change the way you feel about yourself. Even the worst of feelings you have, you can change them. There's always a way. There's writing exercises, talking, recording yourself, doing meditation, putting on beautiful music. Things to change your energy and the way you feel. It's very important. Change the pictures you have hanging in your home. Change your furniture. Change where you live. There's nothing that says you have to be where you are for the rest of your life and feel the way you do. There is nothing written like that. We are here to create, and we are here to find ourselves and serve ourselves and others. But first, you have to find your own heart. Find your own heart. That's the biggest thing I would say. And your heart, it comes through getting rid of that groove of negativity and things of the past that we fall into, thinking that that's who we are. We don't even question it anymore. We just think that that's who we are. This is our character. It's who we are. It's our personality. It's just the way it is. Life sucks. It's never going to get better. This is the way it's always been. You know, you can say that. It may change for you. It's not going to change for me. There's a ton of excuses and things that we can say to ourselves. And it's all for one reason. It's just to be okay with staying where you are. Don't be okay with staying where you are. And if you are okay, make sure you really are okay. Love yourself, love others. Know that nothing stays the same anyway, no matter how much we try to hold on to it. Just love yourself. Find your heart. Thank you for listening. This is Janet Fitzgerald.